kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Yeah, welcome race fans. With only 4 races left, the top 10 drivers of the AARL Blue-Gray Plastic Fabrication Cup Series will battle it out on the large 2-mile oval here in Fontana, California. Auto Club Speedway, where they'll run 100 laps, 200 miles for the Muffler Man 200. I'm Cliff alongside Matt Metler up in the booth for Sim Racing Media. Playoff racing commences next. Matt, how you feeling?
It's playoff time next, baby, and that's what I'm ready for right here in the heart of the San Fernando Valley of California. This is probably one of the nicest geographical locations on the NASCAR circuit. You're here smack dab in the desert, but look off just outside turns 2 and 3. The mountains, you change an elevation, you got all kinds of snow literally miles up the road. You come back down to the valley where this racetrack is. The last great house that Roger Penske built back in 1997, this was supposed to be the future of NASCAR during the golden era. And if you remember, Cliff, this season, this configuration now gone. And I hate to see this track go, but at least it lives on here in iRacing. And I think it's going to put out another great show here this evening. As Lilith Peters is going to look to roll off from the pole. here tonight once that iRacing.com pace car takes him off that pit lane and onto the racing surface.
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight's race going to be brought to you by Muffler Man. Muffler Man's a mechanic shop who has served customers from all over the country for over 20 years. Located over at 219 Columbus Road in Athens, Ohio. They perform services for all vehicles, including exhaust, maintenance, custom bending, shocks, struts, brakes, oil changes, tires, and more. Give Muffler Man a call at 740-592-3593 to have your vehicle serviced today.
It's literally that simple. Pick up a phone, talk to one of the expert representatives on the phone. Hey, they fixed my tailpipe. They can definitely fix yours and a lot more, but it all starts with a phone call. And hey, Cliff, no one likes a loud exhaust, especially one that sounds like a coffee can dragging down the road, especially,
Yeah.
5 o'clock in the morning.
Without a doubt. So let's go ahead and run through our qualifying run. Excuse me. Lilith Peters going to grab the pole here with Adam Angerstein going to jump outside. I'm going to go ahead and run right through it here. David Lorfano starts inside second row with Sean Purcell starting on the outside in that 00 machine. Jeremy Flanagan going to roll off fifth with Patrick McQuaid starting outside of him in the 6th position. David Hara rolling off 7th. Travis Rodriguez 8th. Larry Garden's going to start 9th here tonight. It's Cameron Harris rolling off 10th.
And I'll bring you the best of the way through the starting grid here tonight. In 11th, the 57 of Evan Clapper. Rolling off in 12th, Justin Horton. 13th, Kyle Purcell. 14th, Nathan Christensen. And 15th, Timothy Cook. As Lilith Peters is now in the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the air at the Hollywood track of NASCAR as they climb up through the gearbox cliff. 5 gears and those engines roared, and we're racing down into turn 1 and 2 side by side. Look at Lilith Peters take it all the way to the bottom. How low can you go in the 1? And she makes it work. Oh, that I got really worried there, Cliff. I thought the 9 of Angerstein was on a collision course there with Lorfano in the 8th, but they make it work.
Yeah, Lilith Peters, Adam Angerstein going to control the initial start here, and they're going to fan out just a bit all behind them. Lilith Peters, of course, coming off a win 2 weeks ago at Nashville Fairgrounds, has a lot of, caution's going to be out. 15 goes around.
Big.
15 went around, but that was not what brought out that caution.
Even Hillbilly Hara goes for a wild one early, but that wasn't where the initial caution came out, I think.
I believe Rodriguez was in trouble here. Larry Garnes went off track. Let's see what this happens right before. Yeah, the 10 gets up into the... who was that? Larry Garnes gets collected up, but I think Rodriguez got... Yeah, he gets doored there by the 10... what should be the 10 car of Kyle Purcell. It's going to bring out the early caution here.
Yeah, that looked like something that you typically don't see a car just take off like that. I wonder maybe if there was a connection problem with his wheel to his iRacing rig, perhaps. And it was, once that kicked off, clicked, it was like they were bound to make contact again multiple times. As some of those cars hit 2 and 3 times in that sequence. Very unfortunate as we're only working lap 2. David Hillbilly Hara, other big names in the field in trouble early.
A lot of cars coming down pit road here.
Yeah. I mean, that's because they were all involved in that wreck some way, shape, or form. And as Tony would like to say, Cliff, boom goes the dynamite big here early from Southern California. As you see Travis Juggles, Rodriguez, Larry Garnes, Evan Clapper, David Hara, and others coming down pit road trying to get some damage repairs done to their race car.
Not the start they were looking for.
No, definitely not. Calamity Corner strikes early and hard here in Southern California. But Cliff, the good news is if you're going to have a mistake or have a miscue, if it happens early in the race, you still got plenty of time to get that car dialed back in and get yourself back towards the front.
Yes, sir. Well, with that being, with that involving Kyle Purcell, I'm going to have to bring up some news here. A couple of stories coming into this race. Peter Terrio, you'll notice, our points leader, not on racetrack here today, handed a penalty post-race for actions detrimental to sim racing broadcasting. We'll leave it at that. And also, Nathan Christensen and Kyle Purcell had to go to the rear of the pack here for the start for some on-track altercations a couple weeks ago out at the fairgrounds. So Kyle Purcell being involved with that. We'll see how admin handles that and see how race control deals with that. But for now, we're gonna rack back up. We're gonna get restarted here early out here at Auto Club.
Yeah, forgive me for having a delayed fuse here, but that just kind of went light bulb, the full tilt, and registered what you're implying. Now, that could be an interesting turn of events, especially right off the rip here in California, Cliff.
Yeah. Well, they'll get going again. They're gonna settle in. We got a ways to go here. Lap 4 as we roll. Lights are off, it looks like, on the pace car. So we'll get going again, and hopefully these drivers will set in some rubber and get working on their strategies, and we can get racing here.
You got to set the rubber in so it gets sloppy, as Cliff likes to say, and no one does that better than the driver of that one machine, Lilith Peters, as she has been absolutely terrific everywhere this series has went. Road courses, short courses, super speedways, you name it. That lady has been a dominant force. No surprise she's out there right now carrying the torch.
Well,
we got a long way to go. Yep, Cliff, I'm going to turn this back over to you, man, but long way to go in this one. But no one circles the wagons at these 2-mile speedways like the AARL series. Let's get these boys and girls fired up, and let's get some high-octane racing underway.
She comes up to 5th in points with a win last week, takes us back to the green here on this restart. Lilith Peters shoots out of a cannon, as she always does. The 00 of Sean Purcell in pursuit. Adam Angerstein's going to try to make that top line work with a little help from his friends. Peters off to a fantastic start. Almost a half-second gap there to the 9.
Oh, she always has a way of catching people on the great drivers on the snooze button. Oh, look at this! No!
More contact early here. Lap 5, a car goes flying off the track. That's Sean Purcell. Take a quick look here as the 00 car gets a shove and goes for a ride through the infield. Keeps it straight and will stay green here. Who was that gave him a shove? Did you catch the number of that bus?
I think it is a similar color to a bus, not identical, but I think it rhymes with Fano.
We're going to take a look a little bit slower. Oh, yes, sir. That's the Lorfano machine.
I think that was just two drivers there trying to maximize off the side draft, and they both maximized in different directions, just a little too much, and they slapped hands at 200 miles an hour, and we go down there to the Evel Knievel, or the line through the grass there, as we take out a section that was clearly overgrown early in this one. But everyone's going to continue on their way.
Yeah, the 8 car here, he's all right. He's in 3rd here, rolling. Didn't seem to phase him much at all, unfortunately. I guess fortunately for the 8 machine. But no harm, no foul, I guess, for the 8.
No harm, no foul. But you see that ride Shawnee Peeps went for in that 00? He actually had all 4 tires off the ground in that Ford Mustang.
That's going to make the highlight reel for sure.
Back to the point. Back to the green flag. And guess what? The one still in command. How is she getting out to almost a half a second lead like this on these restarts? I bet you she's starting off in first gear again, Cliff. But look at this. Adam Angerstein in the 9 at TRD machine. Now starting to get a little bit of that draft. And the great part about this racetrack, Cliff, it is so wide. And you got 5.5 grooves of lanes of racing there. And the best part about that is if you don't like how your car's handling on the bottom, go to the middle. If it's not good in the middle, you go to the top. And with all that different banking angle, is this a progressive banking track? You can really find the sweet spot for your car by literally just figuring out where it wants to run, where it's happy on the racetrack. You combine that with the aggressive tire wear, the fuel mileage, and often the drivers with that veteran presence, that mindset that really know how to dirt track these cars. Not that you can really do that in these next gens, but they're the guys with the that gifted talent, that top percentile that always seem to work, find their way to the front here at this racetrack. As they are side by side at the start finish line. Top shelf for Mama hides the cookies for Angerstein. Lilith all the way down to the bottom, and they are still in a drag race side by side through turns 1 and 2.
I think exactly what you were just talking about is what we're seeing here up front. Is they're getting bunched up in the back here, but side by side for the lead. You're seeing the 9 car run that mid to top line, and it's really where his car feels good. The 1 car's got to run that bottom side. We saw the 9 catch right up to Lilith Peters and make a move to get a pass there and actually lead a lap or two. And they're here just battling it out door to door, but one's way up top, one's way down bottom, feeling that racetrack out.
Exactly, and I particularly like the top lane here in the next gen car because you can really wind that race car out. You carry so much longer distance from the racetrack, but you're able to get that momentum wound up on the top side of the racetrack. Some people say you burn more right rear up there. I don't feel that you do. And other drivers like Lilith Peters, they got to put more wheel input in it, no problem. They still seem to go outlast 80% of the field on tires anyhow. Work in the bottom. It was great call there on the racetrack.
Flanagan in the 10 car just about door to door there. I think Flanagan could have reached out and touched that 00 car. So with enough room here to run 2 lanes apart, some of these drivers are deciding to run door to door. Mid-pack here getting wild.
Talking about getting wild, Lightning McQuaid dicing it up.
With 4 races to go, Lightning McQuaid sitting in 9th. He's got some work to do, and he's got some races to win if he wants to have a chance here to take Peter down. Well, Peter's gonna
caution on the racetrack.
Caution out. Let's see what happened. No indication here, but Christensen. Oh, maybe I do got an indication here. Car across the racetrack. Christensen and David Hara involved. Take a look.
Christensen in the 3, David Hara in the 15. Well, you're not supposed to be facing that way at that part of the racetrack in the 15 machine, but look how minimal the damage is on the front of that Camaro, Cliff. I mean, it's like when Jesus walked on water.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. That's a indication of these composite bodies.
That 15 is clean. It's clear. If someone gifted that man from the heavens tonight, I mean, the 3's got more damage. I've never seen anything like that in he got an instant fast repair.
Well, sometimes you get lucky. A little bit of damage there. I think his paint scheme's helping it camouflage up what actual damage he does have. But you're not wrong. I think you got handed one there from the iRacing gods.
Absolutely. And you know what? Sometimes when Lady Luck is on your side, good things happen out there on the racetrack. Wholesale pit stops, the first round of them being currently underway right now, being led by your leader, Lilith Peters, Adam Angerstein, David Larfano, Jeremy Flanagan, Sean Purcell, Patrick McQuaid, David Hara, Juggles Rodriguez, and Larry Guards, all on pit road. It is now the hottest spot on the racetrack. As you can see now, drivers down underway. You can make up a lot of good track position here if you can get it done in the pits, in the battle boxes per se. And speaking of that, look who comes off pit road first, Clip.
Seven Travis Rodriguez gonna get a big boost here coming out of pit road.
He was only
Yeah, it looks like he might have taken 2 tires here, as he's only on pit road for what, 7? Well, in his box for 7 seconds. A little bit of strategy playing out early in this race. We're going to take this opportunity to jump side by side real quick, and we'll be right back. Don't go away. You won't miss any of the action. Travis Rodriguez ending up at the back of the field here. Must have had some mishaps on pit road. Maybe forgot to take tires. Not really sure what happened there. Have to get some pit road reporters involved. Pace car is going to jump off. Peter's going to take us back to it. But now with the silver bullet of Cameron Harris starting just outside of her. Can he hang on? Green flag flies.
Well, if he's as fast as the Rockies are cold, he'll have no problem hanging on. It's great to see that silver bullet up near the front of the field. But when you're going up against Lily Peters on the bottom side of the racetrack, looking like she's got all-wheel drive in that one machine, it's going to be hard for at least the first 3 quarters of a full lap out there on the racetrack. And as that car just...
Big mess
oh,
out
my
back.
goodness.
What has happened to the 9? Adam
Someone
Agerson going around.
Oh, man, he got taken to the steak and shake. That car is destroyed.
How is he's missing a fender here? Man, Auto Club Speedway not very... oh, man, I don't even know what words to say here. Let's take a look at what happened.
The 9 just flat lost it.
Yeah, wow. He's going to lose that fender there. I mean, it just came off completely.
It was like the car took off the racetrack and then just went on its own psychotic course that whatever it took and took out. But watch this. No one around him. Just boom! And just misses the 3.
I tell you, everybody else lucky, especially the 3, not being involved with that one.
I mean, Cliff, can we watch that again? Like the way that car just abruptly turns down the straightaway. I mean, I haven't seen anything like that in quite some time.
Absolutely, get a little bit of slower view. He's already loose coming out of the corner.
Okay, see now it makes sense.
And he's trying to just catch it, and he can't.
Oh,
peels that fender right off of it. He actually caught the barrier there right as the safer barrier ends. And caught a real hard lick, probably why the front end nearly disintegrated.
That's exactly why I wanted to look at it again. From the initial view, I couldn't tell his car was already out of shape. But that's exactly what happened. Like you said, he gets caught maybe in the seams and starts to go into drift mode, overcorrects it, barely misses the 3.
I like this view here as it shows what he was actually trying to do. He was trying to keep his car off of the 10 car below him. Let me watch here again as we bring it on, and you can see he's getting loose, and if he doesn't turn right, he's gonna come right down onto Purcell there. I honestly think that was some evasive moves right there by
Yeah.
the 9 car.
That's showing the love to the competitors on the racetrack, sacrificing himself. And Cliff, that's why I love when we have the opportunity to go back and take another look, and sometimes a third look, especially, man, with your experience, professional drone pilot on iRacing as well. You know how to get the telltale angles no one else does, and now we understand. I appreciate all that hard work up there on the cameras too as well. But hey, if you're Kyle Purcell, you probably can't say enough good things about the driver of that 9 machine right now.
Yeah, without a doubt, Adam Angerstein did all he could to keep that car off the 10. I think it was a little mix of he was going to lose it anyway and a little bit of camaraderie there, and just decided to sacrifice his car. You never want to ruin another driver's day. So hats off there to the 9. He's going to be back mirrored at the end of the field here, 14th place. Peters continues to hold on to the lead here. Can she hold it for the rest of the race? She's got a ways to go, about 80 laps here left in this one. Evan Clapper, Rookie of the Year in that 57 machine. He's up 10 spots to grab second place, so he has entered the chat. Does he have something for this one car?
This kid has been coming on strong, especially here down the stretch. What rookie? I mean, he doesn't seem like a rookie in my opinion. He doesn't race like a rookie. He's competitive, and he's been super competitive over the past 2 months. Cliff, I think you're onto something there. That 57 is due for a win. It is sometime in the near future, and why not this racetrack to do it?
Yeah, Clapper finishing third at Nashville Fairgrounds 2 weeks ago. He's definitely sniffing a win, and I do say Rookie of the Year only because it's his first season here with AARL, so he is eligible for that Rookie of the Year. I think there's only 2 drivers, if I remember correctly, so, not much of bragging rights there, but he's a fast driver, definitely knows how to race this car, and he's no rookie to the car, just to this series.
Well said. And if not, hey, it sounded good on the broadcast.
Hey, he's eligible for the Rookie of the Year here at AARL. I'm going to give him his limelight. Pace car lights are off.
Lights are off on the pace car. That means we're going to go back to the action in the Geico restart zone. Look at the reindeer games, Lilith Peters plays, but Patrick McQuaid was ready to pick up the 57. Says, hold on to it, buddy, I got you. And he hits the afterburner and hooks up literally with the 57. Look at those guys coming back to the front now. That was incredible.
Yeah, I talked about it earlier, have a little help with your friends. That's what we were just seeing from the 77, giving Evan Clapper there a little bit of a pat there to get going.
Well, was that a pat or was that planned? But either way, that was great execution and fun to watch. And even with all that, Lilith Peters still just finds a way to check out these guys.
Yeah, her car loves that clean air, and she knows it. She's got to keep it out front, and she's going to do everything she can here. Keep that 57, the 77, and the 27, all these 7s behind her. She's going to continue to work that bottom line. We're seeing the top line does get a little bit faster on these restarts, and she gets a great restart, then these cars start to catch her, but I really think they're going to wear their tires out a little more up on that top side, so there's going to be some give and take here that if you want to run that top side, run that faster line, you're going to have to try to conserve your tires a little bit more.
It's initially when you say it, it sounds weird, but essentially, I think at different important times of the run, the bottom and the top is faster because there's definitely times when Lilith Peters is on the bottom that she's faster than the guys on the top, and I think that changes over the course of the run as the track kept the amount of rubber, and then obviously the weight distribution and changing the race cars that fuel burns off. But you're right, Cliff, that top line, if you're not careful, you can really abuse that right rear tire. But the other side of that, at the bottom you have less bagging and you can put more weight. So I guess they both have their advantages and disadvantages. It just depends on what you prefer as a race car driver.
Action heating up here mid-pack. Kyle Purcell sitting in 7th. Working it on the 9 and the 67 here. As you see him all over the rear end there of the 9 of Adam Angerstein. A little bit aggressive there. Still early in this race.
Chiming in on the Yak Pack, getting it done here in race. Got some feelings brewing here, which
I
we
will say,
typically don't see. We
Yeah.
typically don't see that from these guys, but something happened on an off week of all things, and it seems to still be bubbling a little bit out there on the racetrack. Kyle Purcell, the Purifier in that 10 machine, up 5 spots. Justin Horton in 7th. He's up 6. Biggest mover of the race, and I believe you mentioned this already. Just ahead of these guys, Evan Clapper in 3rd, up 9 positions. Just look how racy these guys are starting to get on the racetrack.
Lightning McQuaid making a pass for the lead. Or trying to. He's trying to get that pass completed. Peter's finding the top side. Oh, gets a bump there. Peter's falling off there.
3 wide. 3 wide. You can fit 3 more cars there.
3, almost 4 wide as McQuaid finds his way back to the top. Peters as well. You got the 27 now entering for the lead. Cameron Harris, teammate to the 77 as they come down the backstretch. They fan out a bit behind them. 3 wide, almost 3 wide down the backstretch. Evan Clapper looking to possibly take him 3 wide into turn 3 here, but he doesn't. Thinks better of it.
Oh, these guys and girls are super racy at the front, but they're doing it in a controlled manner, and it looks like the Blue Angels out there changing formations. Is Patrick McQuaid. Welcome back to the front of the pack, sir. I was getting concerned about this man. Didn't have the spunk that he had earlier on in the season. And I figured it out. He just had to recharge that flux capacitor, 1.21 gigawatts of power to produce that lightning. Hey, those batteries are going to dry up a little bit. And Patrick McQuaid is definitely lighting them up here and putting them down as he's up 5 spots to the 77. Good to have you back, McQuaid. Lightning is back in the house at the point.
We were talking about him earlier before the race, and we were saying, you know, we were expecting him to do good here, and we haven't talked about him a lot. And coming into this race 9th in the points, this is what he needs to do. He's got to be strong, and possibly either, you know, if he's not going to win here today, he's got to at least hit the podium to stay in the running, I would say.
It almost seems like when he has to battle with Lilith, I think she puts him outside his comfort zone and puts him on the offensive more than he likes to, perhaps. But it brings out the best in him as a race car driver. That's just a theory. But look at this, the 77, the 1, Cameron Harris. Look at these guys and girls all over this racetrack. I mean, I was going to mention Crazy Train, but that wouldn't even be relevant because we're going from the top to the bottom. I mean, we're all over.
This is what I love about this racetrack. There's so much room to race here that you can kind of take some chances, try different lines, and really see what works for your car, as you were saying earlier. And that's what we're seeing. Once they start doing that, they find their way to the front.
And especially with a car that has as much horsepower as most 4th graders at the local track, having all that space to work the air really helps, you know, get this car a little extra performance and, you know, all the things that you didn't have to worry about when you had 1,000 horsepower underneath of it.
And another thing happening here that we didn't talk much about yet, but I'm going to talk about it now, is the 27 sucks right up to the back of his teammate of that 77. You know, we're on the border here of a super speedway. It's a very thin line from between this and Daytona, but it's not quite Daytona. But if 2 cars get up together coming down the backstretch and they're teammates and they can lock in, they're going to get a slight advantage. We saw that just right there, but of course the 27 doesn't want to stay behind anyone for too long. He's going to fight for the lead as well.
That's a great point, Cliff. And that same advantage, I mean, you can do that in a 3-car tandem, but the difference is you can do that at far fast corners of the racetrack. Racing surface is so wide, Daytona, you can't do that. And look at the way they're just able to flare out and just do whatever they want with the runs. That sounded dirty, but that's not what I'm talking about.
That's Evan Clapper right there. He's got a fast race car, and another one that does not want to stay behind anyone for very long, as the 8 going to come back and serve him another one.
I mean, at Daytona and Talladega, to take this one step further, how many times have we heard drivers over the years say, I had a run, I couldn't do anything with it? Well, guess what? You can hear, and that's why you're seeing that erratic jostling out of these race car drivers, and you think it's erratic because you're not able to see it, and that's just because those limitations are in place at your typical restrictor plate tracks. Here, they got so much room they can utilize the run, and that's why you see these cars flexing and fanning at times, because they're utilizing all that extra momentum to try to use it as an advantage out there on the racetrack, just like you're seeing right now with Cameron Harris, Patrick McQuaid.
It's getting busy up here towards the front. Peters, Clapper, McQuaid, Cameron Harris, these guys are all racing for basically second. As we see the 27 trying to work with his teammate there, talking about that draft. He really wants it.
You gotta want it, and you have to be able to push harder and want it just a little bit more than the other competitors out there on the racetrack. But you also gotta have some luck on your side, and you got to be able to keep that car clean as well. But right now, I mean, look at the breath of fresh air and life that this track is breathing to some of these drivers that I don't want to say kind of went stale. We just didn't see the spice or the that thunder at the beginning of the series, or the beginning of the season per se. It is certainly back right now. Evan Clapper continuing to charge to the front, and he wants to challenge the driver of the one in Lilith Peters.
Oh, Peters going to come back.
So fast, Junior.
I love it. Peters with the crossover. Doesn't quite get it done, though. I think Clapper's going to lead this lap and possibly the next if he can hang on here to the top.
I mean, look at this. They are door to door, another drag race. And Lilith Peters now is going to try to come up and put the squeeze job on Clapper, utilize the side draft. But now here comes Lightning McQuaid and Cameron Harris on the top. But everyone aborts and bails on that strategy, as we're going to reshift and refocus here and reshuffle them coming off the turns 3 and 4. Now Lilith Peters is going to be alongside McQuaid, and she's going to draft off on Evan Clapper, who is now made it all the way to the front of the field. Evan Clapper is now your leader here at Montana.
Clapper hangs on to take the lead, and the 77 is going to take advantage of that, as well as he's going to try to continue to work that top side and follow that 57 to the front. He gets past Lilith Peters. Silver Bullet Cameron Harris is going to also get by Lilith Peters. Peters falls back to 4th here pretty quickly.
You know, that woman's got so many tricks up her sleeve, and I mean that in a good way. This, for all we know, could be part of her strategy, and she always seems to know what that right call is going to be.
Oh man, big problems for the 77.
That is huge.
Blinking all over the place. I hope we caught that on broadcast, because that's some iRacing classic stuff right there, as we saw the 77's car explode on video. But
I totally lost my train of thought when I was talking there, because I'm like, what did I just see?
Please tell me in the chat if you saw what we saw. I'm losing it over here. Evan Clapper grabs the lead in the 57. He's up that's as many spots as he can get, 11 spots from where he started. Going to grab the lead here in that 57 machine, and he wants to set sail now. Let's see how the 57 works when he gets some clean air over that hood, over those fenders.
Yeah, clean air. I mean, that is like the lifeblood of this race car. Clean air does so much. And now Evan Clapper has the taste and he's out in front. Let's see if he's able to check out or if it throws a curveball at him. Typically, you don't know sometimes until you're literally in that position on the racetrack. But regardless, the way this driver is maturing, the racecraft getting better so quickly. I mean, this guy has been really on a tear. I mean, the past month doing phenomenal. And I knew it was only a matter of time. And Cliff, we kind of set the narrative there. And look at this. I mean, the 57. I mean, he's looking like a veteran race car driver out here that's been doing it here a long time. Smooth. Don't see that car making any erratic behavior adjustments. I mean, look at that. I mean, down right almost on the white line. That there's zero banking there on that racetrack. It's hard to do that and run this momentum.
Cameron Harris coming down pit lane.
Cameron Harris. Oh, you're good, dude. Someone could be planning to go a little off cycle here. Change up the pit strategy, throw something new into the mix.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, whatever their team did decide to do, they know what they're doing. Always seems to be there at the end, so I'd probably follow suit, to be honest with you.
I would too.
Here we got another continual great battles for the lead here tonight.
3 minutes. It's 3 wide at times. It's, you know, you enter the turn, the 57's at the top, the 1's in the middle. You come out of the turn, they could be all hooked up in a train, or it's completely flip-flopped on the other side of the exit of that corner, or coming out of 4. But that is the magic of Fontana.
You know, I'm loving what I'm seeing here with the 7 of Travis Rodriguez. We saw him have trouble on pit road in that first set of pit stops where he had to come back down for whatever reason. You know, with the short time he was in his pit box, it looked like he forgot to grab tires and didn't have a checkbox clicked. Had to come back around. Now he's working here in 4th place. Muffler Man's going to take it down.
Lightning McQuaid now on pit road. May have seen or heard what Cameron Harris in that 27 did and said, hey, you know what? I like that. Let's go ahead and try to undercut these guys. He's already coming off of the pit lane. So now you have Cameron Harris, who last pitted on lap 38, and now Lightning McQuaid, lap 40. You got to remember that as this can play a factor later on. How about Evan Clapper really starting to flex some muscle, and Lilith Peters doing exactly what she does, making you earn every inch out there on the racetrack if she is going to have anything to say with it.
Yeah, exactly. He's got no choice but to flex muscle right now as that one car is putting on a show and working that top side. He's got to follow in there and possibly look for some more grip. I think that top side was working better for that 57 machine. David Lorfano, Patrick McQuaid, both down pit road. McQuaid coming down again. I thought, you know, I kind of had a suspicion that he was a little fast on pit road, and I think he might have had to serve a penalty, but also having some blinking issues. So we saw that from the 57 consistently throughout the past couple of seasons, where he's just got some internet issues, and it's really unfortunate when he's doing well at a track like this where he was, and now we're probably going to see him fall towards the back.
I couldn't agree more with you, Cliff. And I wasn't here last season, but I heard those tales from last season, especially when he was at some of his pinnacle moments, and actually just destroying multiple races.
Yeah, one of those drivers where championships probably eluded him due to technical issues, unfortunately. Well, Peters reassumes the lead here as we run lap 44. We're going to give it a go at running through the field. Peters hanging on to that top spot as she's been dominant just about all night here. But Evan Clapper, rookie to the series, holding on to second and battling it out for the lead not too long ago. Travis Rodriguez up 5 spots to third from where he started in the 7 machine.
Hello.
Saw him have some trouble on in pit road last cycle, or a cycle prior to last, and finds his way up to third. Sean Purcell rolling fourth in this 00 machine. Justin Horton right behind him in fifth. He's up 8 spots from where he started. Great run here for the 67 Chevy team. Jeremy Flanagan in the 72. My apologies to him and Zorku Nation representing here. Rolling 6th. David Hare in the 15th is going to assume the 7th position here right behind Jeremy. Larry Garnes in the 20 machine having a solid run in 8th as Lilith Peters comes down pit road, our leader. Cameron Harris sitting in 9th. David Lorfano gonna roll in our top 10 spot as our leader jumps down pit road here.
Lilith Peters decided that, you know what, my turn to go down pit road here. And maybe the strategy here is just to come down pit road by yourself. Probably not the case, but that's exactly what's been happening here, is we kind of have a little bit of a trickle effect down pit road versus everyone making a mad dash for the pits like we've seen on the first stop. And that's going to give Clapper in the 57 sole control of this race. Oh, he's going to give it up. Smart decision.
Clapper comes down pit road.
Had the speed to run with them. Why not stay on the same strategy? That's a good heads-up call out there on the racetrack. That's going to give...
Yep.
It's going to give Mr. I Believe I Can Fly the lead. If you remember that first incident of the racetrack, I mean, he got set when that car transitioned from the asphalt to the grass. I don't know if you realized how much air he had, but that was impressive. And he is still sending it out there on the racetrack, working the top 00. Now it is your leader. And he has the 7 of Travis Juggles Rodriguez and the 67 of Horton in tow. They are now currently your top 3 as they run.
Yeah, last on pit road around lap 13 and 14. Top 3 have been. David Harris sitting in 4th. About 3.3 seconds back from the leaders. Last pitted on lap 17, so just about the same strategy here. For most of the cars here in the top 10. Or at least the top 6, I'd say. Look at it, Cameron Harris, the first car off of that strategy, as we saw him come a little bit early. But here we go. Travis Rodriguez and Jeremy Flanagan coming down.
See, I like that because you mentioned the draft here. And when you come down by yourself, you just can't maximize or utilize any of that draft capability. And now when you have a friend, or hey, pit buddy, whatever you want to call it, you got two cars pitting simultaneously at the same time. They should be able to work together and be faster out there. I like that decision coming down pit road, coming out of that camp. But how about Justin Horton, another name, another driver that's been strong here at times throughout the course of this season in the 67 machine. Sean Purcell in that 00, he's going to take it down pit road with the 67 of Justin Horton.
That's going to give the lead to David Hare in the 15 Chevy. Horton and Purcell peeling off the racetrack. Larry Garn is going to hold on to second place right now. Both these cars are going to have to come in very soon, as we are halfway here in the Muffler Man 200 from Auto Club Speedway. We're going to go ahead and pay some more bills. We'll jump side by side so you won't miss any of the action. But we will be right back. Do not go away. Welcome back live to the racetrack. Lilith Peters gonna cycle through to reassume the lead. Takes it back from the 27 of Cameron Harris. As we saw Cameron Harris last on pit road of lap 38. A little bit of a different strategy from the leader of Peters. What we're seeing now, though, is some green flag racing and some distance between the cars here out in the field. We're going to see a little bit of a different race now start to play out here as we get a long green flag run, I should say.
Yeah, I'll say, and that certainly has turned this into more of an endurance race look to it right now versus that high-flying side-by-side action we've seen earlier on in this race. All things do cycle back to Lilith Peters, and she is back to the point in the one. But great strategy there by the 27 of Cameron Harris, as he is now solidly entrenched himself in that in that second position, less than a second behind Lilith Peters. Evan Clapper, even after pit stops, still has the podium spot there in third, up 9 positions. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps getting better, and better.
Keeps on going, huh? Well,
and that's just putting it lightly.
We'll continue through the field since you started it so elegantly there.
Well, thank you.
David Lorfano in the 8 machine here, rolling 4th. Having a solid day here today, trying to bring that 8 machine home all in one piece and make a great run here. Lorfano sitting in, to my surprise, Lorfano is actually out of the top 10. Kyle Purcell here sitting in 5th place in the number 10 machine. Funny story, he quickly made this paint scheme before the race and accidentally put the wrong number on it, so I don't know. Justin Horton sitting in the 67, getting some pressure here behind Sean Purcell, but Horton sitting in 6th with Sean Purcell on his bumper, sitting in 7th. Travis Rodriguez, as these cycle through, sitting in 8th. Jeremy Flanagan behind him in 9th. David Hare in the 15 machine gonna round out our top 10, but we're not gonna stop there. Larry Garnes in 11th. Lightning Patrick McQuaid finds himself back in 12th after having some internet issues, and Christensen and Adam Angerstein on pit road with substantial damage, possibly done for the night. Of course, all eyes in the stands currently on the 1 machine of Lilith Peters as she brings that Foxfire Foods machine down the backstretch to lead yet another lap as she'll come out of 3 and 4.
You know, and one other note, that mayhem man, David Hare, he has been the comeback kid of the race so far, as that car was involved in just about any type of incident you could have in the opening stages of the race. And he's still out there making laps, still on the lead lap. And hey, he was up there, inside, approaching the top 5 there before that sequence of pit stops. So, hey, hats off to him. Staying alive, even overcoming that adversity. Big statement out of that 15 machine here in the early going, as we're now over halfway, currently approaching lap 60. Back to the point. Lilith Peters in command of this one here from the San Fernando Valley, of the house that Penske built.
Yeah,
no problem for Lilith Peters.
The 15 machine you talked about having a great run, but he's got some work to do. Peters is out here setting sail, but deeper back in the pack, some of these drivers are really having to push their cars hard to make up some ground here in this long, what we're seeing, a stretched out green flag run. You're not bunched up anymore, so you really got to work a little bit harder here to find out what your car is going to be capable of doing and try to make up some ground. You can keep doing what you've been doing for the past 60 laps, but you're probably not going to find much more progress unless you get out there and try some new things and see what your car can do.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You're gonna have to get aggressive. You're gonna have to sell some other drivers on that aggressive strategy, and you're gonna have to train up. As Lilith Peters, she's got a little bit of a lead. She's out there 13, seconds to the good right now. Evan Clapper's got 10 seconds. Cameron Harris, 9.92. David Lurfano, Kyle Purcell, 4.43. I mean, there's some sizable space out there on that racetrack. So you're absolutely right, Cliff. You're gonna have to dial something up. You're gonna have to rally the troops and get some drivers to jump on board if you want to find some magic to go up there and run those top 3 cats down. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, something's got to give, or you're going to have to try something new, try something different. Whatever it takes here, as we're starting to tick down these laps, and despite it being a 2-mile track and a lot of time around this to get one lap around, they're going to start going fast under green flag conditions. And with more and more time going by, more and more cars are going to get stretched out, and the less likelihood of a caution is what we're going to be looking at.
You know, if there is a silver lining, even though Willard Peters, Evan Clapper, Harris have a sizable time advantage, they are indeed spaced out and really not benefiting from that draft. Where, as you see now here, Justin Horton, Kyle Purcell, 67, Sean Purcell as well, excuse me. You know, they're starting to look like they're going to get ready to team up here and get a 3-car tandem running. And if they're able to do that, I mean, you're talking about a couple extra mile an hour out there on the racetrack. And like Toyota's marketing slogan says, now we're going places, and that's to the front.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping. Yeah. Well, we'll see if it works out. Definitely worth the shot. And if you can get 3 cars linked up here lap after lap, you're definitely going to be faster than if you were on your own.
Have you ever seen Talladega Nights, Cliff? I assume you have.
That's a silly question.
I figured
I'm going to throw that right back at you. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Well, John Girard, you know, he's sitting there in the race car leading the race, drinking some fancy espresso. Wonder if Lilith Peters is kind of on that same level. Maybe, you know, who knows? You know, I mean, she's out there at her own zip code right now. Maybe she's got some opera music on. Just another day at the office. She has that car on cruise control, and it is just bad fast.
First of all, it was a macchiato.
Thank you.
Second of all, I can definitely see Lilith Peters running with a cappuccino machine in her Foxfire Foods. She gets into the wall. Maybe getting a little lazy out there.
Maybe she's listening to us.
we probably distracted her. Or she has spilt her macchiato. Evan Clapper sitting in second, about 2.2 seconds back. He's got some work to do if he wants to catch up to her. Cameron Harris sitting here in third. He's 6 seconds behind Lilith Peters. But a solid run here. We got to keep our eyes on the silver bullet because he's going to have to come into pit road before the rest of this front pack.
Great point, Cliff, is Cameron Harris in that 27, last on pit road, lap 38. The 2 front runners, 46. So that fuel will expire in that fuel cell way long before the other drivers at the front. So you're right, Cameron Harris has another tumultuous task, another stressful decision to make here before we get this one for the scheduled distance of 100 laps here this evening. Is Lilith Peters well in control, but we still have one pit stop left, the money stop, and we know what that can do, Cliff. I mean, we've seen that pit stop do things we didn't think possible and totally shuffle the deck and the outcome of at the end of these races sometimes. But Lilith Peters certainly seems like she has this one locked. This is her race to lose, in my opinion, at this point.
Yeah, without a doubt. No, I was just going to say, you know, you're absolutely right. The money stop is where it's going to be real important here now because the racing on track has just become yourself racing against the track. And you now have an opportunity here to make up some time on pit road. And we know that it's a lot easier sometimes on pit road than it is on the racetrack. And you also have a really huge opportunity to really fumble it pretty hard and throw your race away. So, you know, you gotta be careful coming into pit road. You've been out here running full speed green flag laps that, you know, you might have messed with your brake bias a little bit, and coming down pit road, you might not remember that, or it might slip your mind, and the tail end could get happy, so you might find yourself in some trouble. So you really got to be careful, because even though it is the money stop and it could win your race, it could also throw your race away if you make any mistakes.
Yeah, it can certainly make you look like a highly intelligent person. It could make you look really silly at a key moment or at a pinnacle moment of the race in just a matter of seconds. And that's the stressful part of that money stop. And I think that's why you see more strange things happen on that particular pit stop, because of the pressure. And especially if you've been a driver where something like that has happened to you, you are that much more prone, because that literally plagues you the rest of your foreseeable racing career. I can promise you that.
Very well said. 30 to go here at the Muffler Man 200 from Auto Club. You're watching Sim Racing Media. If you haven't, like, subscribe, follow us, do all those things. We got racing almost 7 days a week. Terrific Tuesday being the most action-packed. I'm pretty sure there's other races going on as we speak, and there'll be other races going on all night. Be sure to check us out. We got all kinds of different varieties of racing.
Yeah, I mean, if your flavor is not Fontana and you want short track, we got it covered. I mean, we literally, Cliff calls it Special Tuesday, I call it Super Tuesday, but literally, second day of the week, we got 5-6 broadcasts going on. So if you like racing, I mean, you can literally just come home, get your beverage of choice, lock in with us and the drivers, and we got you for the remainder of the evening. Just like Lilith Peters has been out in front of this one, it seems like from the get-go.
Well, I
actually
called it Terrific Tuesday.
Terrific Tuesday, thank you.
What it's not is Taco Tuesday, at least in my house. I'm wondering, though, if Foxfire Foods has any tacos. I might check them out at foxfirefoods.com. Evan Clapper in the 57 machine going to take it down pit road along with Cameron Harris. Clapper trying something different, coming down with Cameron, who pitted a little bit earlier than the rest of the pack. So trying to just change it up a little bit here and see if he can gain some ground on Lilith.
Trying to switch it up, shake it up, and that's what you have to do here. Hey, Cliff, I love the fact that you took my reference from Ricky Bobby and you knew where I was going with it. We're hungry. Feed us.
Yeah, definitely could do with some. I could use some tacos.
She comes down into the pits right on cue, but I doubt that's why.
She said Taco Tuesday. That sounds great. She's going to pull off, probably grab a taco or two. She's got enough of a gap where she could run to the snack bar real quick. Sean Purcell is going to grab the lead here as he came down pit road lap 49 along with Horton behind him, so he's got a little ways to go before they're going to have to peel off.
Yep, 40, like you said, lap 49 for both the 00 Sean Purcell and 67 of Horton. So those two gentlemen that are just so happen to be 1 and 2 on the racetrack working together right now, or in the vicinity of each other, they have the most potential distance left in that juice box behind that V8 churning and burning inside those ZL1 Camaros. As Sean Purcell, he is going to come down pit road into that Mustang. 4 tires, 2 cans of Unical 76 gasoline. 4 Dr. Feelgoods, and back underway here to close this one out. McQuaid back on pit road as well. Certainly my heart breaks for that man as he was looking fired up here, re-energized here tonight. It's something that you just absolutely have zero control over is that almighty connection. And when that acts up, I mean, it just does things to that race car. Damage, tight, I mean, it's just totally kills your momentum, but still, it was great to see McQuaid up there, dicing it up at the front again, being super competitive.
Horton and Lorfano come down pit road, and David Harris going to assume the lead here at lap 75.
Who would have thought, with all the trouble that seemed to find him at the beginning of the race, and like I said, comeback kid, and that's what he continues to do, to overcome adversity, is he's now leading. I understand he hasn't pit yet, but still, that is saying a lot about the driver inside that race car, Cliff.
Here he comes now for his money stop. Oh, trouble behind him almost, as Travis Rodriguez almost gets into that pit wall. But their team's up on the wall, ready to make their stops. Larry Garn's going to grab the lead. Going to try to lead a lap here as he's got the 10 car of Purcell out on the top side there. But looks like Purcell is currently, at least currently scored in ninth. These things start to cycle through here.
Well, what I like to do is when in doubt, go to iRacing kind of scoring. And it looks like Kyle Purcell, just like you said, but I thought it looked weird too, is the first car a lap down in 10th. But these guys are starting to run, they're starting to get tight again out there on the racetrack, Cliff. And as those cars get tighter and tighter, that means they're understanding the urgency that laps are winding down. And they must go faster to catch their leader or to advance their position. So look for this race to go back through the ceiling on the excitometer, just like it was here in the opening laps where we had cars seem like going out of control at times, but in a controlled manner, just trying to get every inch you can on the racetrack.
Well, the excitometer just went to the top as the 27 of Cameron Harris makes a move on Kyle Purcell to grab 7th spot. As he working that way up on the top side, right up against the wall. Jeremy Flanagan in the 72 machine currently gonna lead a lap here. Larry Garnes in the 20 takes it down pit road.
See the 7 there coming back out after his pit stop, coming up back up through the gearbox. The 20 of Larry Garnes, he is in for his final service in that Chevrolet.
Cars just all over the racetrack here. Flanagan gonna come down for his final stop. Representing for Kaiju Cat Motorsports here and Zorku Nation.
I'll tell you what, that man has the following. One of iRacing's most popular drivers piloting that race car, and that says a lot about the character and that person that we have the privilege of broadcasting here each week on SRM. As I continue to love the racing that this track continues to produce, Cliff. One of the hot topics earlier on in the season, and I hate to see this track go. It's old and has character. They did the same thing with Atlanta. Everyone loved it. What do? We get rid of it. It's so strange because you go back a year and a half and everyone says, oh, the short tracks are the best racing on the track in the series. Now you're building all these short tracks and your next gen car pops a big old you-know-what off every time it stops at one. But anyways.
20 to go here. Don't look now, but we're almost finishing things up here. Hey, looks like Adam Angerstein. I apologize. I'm seeing things.
I have spent. Cliff, I love working with you, brother. I was just gonna say I've been working too much with Tony. I'm starting to talk. I'm starting to sound like him ranting up here.
That's all right. That's all right. 20
Willis
to go.
Peters, 20 laps to go. 19 laps to go now in the one. Foxfire Foods. Bring us some tacos and some macchiatos, please. We would love you forever if you could do that.
I think we might have got the taco hookup in the chat. I'm working on it. Peters, Clapper, Horton, our top three. Biggest mover of the race is going to go to Evan Clapper so far. We've seen him lead some laps. He's currently up 10 spots from where he started. And he's about 4 seconds back from the leader, Lilith Peters.
If you want to talk about the stealth move of the race, Sean Purcell in third. What?
Yes, sir. That 0-0 of Sean Purcell sitting here and comfortably in third, but got Justin Horton. As we've seen all race, these two battling it out.
See, you know, all these drivers, they're all great, and they all have their own little extra bonuses and perks that each and every one of these drivers have, and that's something Sean Purcell can just do at times. He is just the master of pulling a Houdini like that, and just, you know, not that he was having a bad run, but I know he wasn't in third. That is impressive under green flag conditions, and he continues there to run the top side of the racetrack. He has help. He's got company, the 27 Cameron Harris, the 67 Justin Horton, and they continue to cut into the lead of the one of Lilith Peters. And I guarantee you, if they get tighter on the racetrack, get closer, and I'm sure they know that as well, they'll continue to increase the time that they're gaining on the top positions in the racetrack, referring to Lilith Peters and Evan Clapper. But still, Sean Purcell, that's a nice drive there, getting up into that third podium position. Is now working lap 84. We're looking at just 15 laps to go this time by the line.
Yeah, Purcell sitting in third, but getting some pressure from Horton, and now as well from the 27 of Cameron Harris, as these three are battling it out for fourth place here. 16 laps to go. Horton going to fall back to fifth.
A little bit there. That could be a draft play there, trying to get everything figured out.
Yeah, you're right. There he goes with the shake and bake move.
Yep. And see, I wouldn't think to do something like that, and that's why usually in the back half of the field they're trying to figure out where the dandelions are growing versus heading for wins, because I don't do things like this.
Yep, I know all about it. I could tell you where all the shack snacks are around the track, because that's what I'm always looking at.
It's not always about seconds. It's about those tenths and those hundredths that win races, and it's doing things like that out on the racetrack. Hey, we just ran this lap. Now let's switch it up. Let's see, trying to maximize every single bit of speed that you can. And that's what really gets it done, is putting everything together, all the little things that you do, which makes you look so fast out there, or a team, or a brand, a manufacturer's position here in motorsports racing. If you're looking there at Larry Garnes in that 20 machine inside the top 10, having a great run tonight in that ninth place position.
I'm highlighting this car right now because I think that Larry Garnes gets my award for best looking car here tonight. I love the green wheels. I love when people work the wheels into their paint scheme, and Larry Garnes and his 20 machine really does a good job at that. So just wanted to throw that out there with 13 to go. Really love this paint scheme, and the green wheels especially.
Yeah, that man is styling in that race car, but no, I like that paint scheme too. That's a good race car.
Meanwhile, back up front, Lilith Peters sitting there taking down the show.
Lap 88, Cliff, getting written right now. Do you think there's going to be some California magic, or do you think we're going to see this same pace, this same intensity level continue until we hit that checkered flag? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that with the way that this race has played out here tonight, I would be surprised if we get another caution. And I think it would take some real accidental bonehead moves. And I say that we do have some close racing going on the racetrack, but it's a big racetrack. There's plenty of room for it. And we've seen that these drivers can handle it. I think this one's going to finish under green. We got 12 to go, and I think what we're going to see is probably this pack right here being the most exciting on the racetrack. Purcell, Horton, and Cameron Harris. Everyone else has kind of just been spread out over the past 20 laps. These two can't get away from each other, the three of them. Sorry, these three can't get away from each other.
You know what's even better about that? These three here, they'll take chances, and they'll take some additional risks at times. Which I love seeing. It's making this race really exciting. Right there around that 4th, 5th, and 6th position out there on the racetrack. Slicing and dicing, mixing it up, trying to stay tight, keep the lap times going. These guys are race car drivers. They don't want to just sit there on cruise control. They want to race, and I can't blame them, especially at a track like this. But it just encourages this type of racing. You don't get this experience as a race car driver, I don't think, at any other racetrack in the circuit quite like you do here to do this. So get it out of your system now, because next week you won't have the luxury, I can assure you of that.
Yeah, there will be a lot of taking and less given next week at Bristol. Good point. But I just wanted to throw out that these three are racing for a podium spot. So first and second, Peters, Clapper, really not much to be done there with 10 laps to go. But these guys are running their hearts out right now. Justin Horton, Sean Purcell, Cameron Harris. Because you know why? They all really want to talk to us. Stay tuned at the end of this race. We'll talk to our top 3 drivers and get their perspectives.
Yeah, I think it's more about just getting the best finish they can. Their spots, their teams, everything else.
You think they want third over talking to us? All right, you're probably right. Justin Horton,
why they're driving. But you're right. That's why they're driving lights out right now. And just as we start to say that, we see a little bit maybe of a strategy change, perhaps in the 27 of Harris, as he has now dropped off a couple cars.
A little less aggressive right now, yeah. Some things might be going through his head, or, hear me out, he may have used up all his tire. All that sloppy rubber coming to play now, as we saw Cameron Harris kind of earlier on the pit stops before everyone else. So could be seeing some tire fade right there. Can't really hold on to it and keep up with Purcell or Horton. Just speculating, of course. I'm not in the driver's seat. We're way up here in the booth just making slightly educated guesses.
Yeah, you're right. It could be Slop Chop, a.k.a. from the sloppy rubber, or his inner Peter Parker, or Spidey senses could be going off about something too. Only really he knows, but interesting how drivers can sense things like that on the racetrack, or intel. We'll have to see how this plays out. But Lilith Peters, straight cash money here at NASCAR's Hollywood racetrack. It's literally a hop, skip, and a jump right down the road from this facility.
I don't know what the meme's all about, but we've got a turtle coming out of a VCR is what it looks like.
Where did you find this?
It's showing on her driver info when I pull it up, so that's fun. You'll see it on the broadcast if you watch it. But Lilith Peters dominating this race here tonight as we got 6 to go at Auto Club. About 7 seconds back is where second place lives, with Evan Clapper in the 57 machine representing for Raleigh. Justin Horton in the 67 has finally, I think, put the 00 of Sean Purcell behind him as he holds on to the third and final podium spot. Can he hang on to it? Another car out here with some fancy wheels. I was just talking about Larry Garnes and his green wheels. The 67 Foxfire Foods. Another fancy looking car here with some
plum crazy
chromish plum, yeah, wheels on this machine. Loving it. Sean Purcell, of course, with the white wheels. always a classic too with the white wheels. That's a part of the new machine that I really like. These new cars is their wheels, and I think that the different colors look a lot better on them than the old school oval stock car wheels that we're used to seeing.
If I could stop just at the wheels and tires on this next gen, I would sing about it every single day of my life. Unfortunately, once you get outside of that realm, I tend to cringe and start vomiting repetitively, but that does not, I still, you know what, I still drive this car week in and week out, and I say that because I just can't drive it. I'm still trying to figure it out. David Hara, you see there, 15, that 15 machine, 6th position on the racetrack. Strong recovery, what a recovery again. I mean, when you see, the type of adversity he faced in this racetrack, I mean, he was getting just knocked around every time he even thought about the caution, or if there was a caution, you could almost bet the 15 was in it. And here he is, about to be just knocked on the back door of the 5th place position in 6th place. Job well done. The Hillbilly Mayhem in that 15 car. What a drive here from that 15 to David Hara.
Yeah,
the
he's
clock continues to wide. Go ahead, sir.
Sorry, no, I was just saying he was starting to catch Cameron Harris, so this being kind of the most exciting car on the track right now, but we only got 3 to go. And this one's just about to be done here as Peters, Clapper, and Horton are current top 3.
Popsicle 6.
Can the 00 catch Justin Horton to grab a podium spot? We're going to keep our cameras focused on this battle. 0.3 of a second separate 3rd from 4th. Podium from not podium.
He left it on an open right before he took the cameras elsewhere. And I was going to say, no, it is not over. If Sean Purcell has tires on a race car and an engine that's running, he is going to do everything he can. There is no quit. Look at him dialing the pressure back up, fight it away. He's playing around with the line a little bit. He's bringing it all the way up to the top shelf. We're just about where Mama hides the cookies. And he has now been able to catch the draft of that 67 of Justin Horton. Sean Purcell, not done yet by any means, as this could be a last lap thriller at the line for the spot.
Yeah, another one of these drivers sitting towards the back of the top 10 in the playoffs, actually sitting in 8th, so trying to make every position count, and unfortunately doesn't always got coming down the backstretch. He's got that draft there. This is where it's going to matter as Peters comes across the line. Clapper as well will take 1st and 2nd. Here's the battle for 3rd in that final podium spot as the 00 comes out of 4, trying to grab that draft. He'll grab the wall instead, and that's going to give it to the 67 of Justin Horton. Great battle here for 3rd place.
You know, I love seeing that. I mean, shades of Carl Edwards. I mean,
yeah.
Full set. I mean, everything you can do is the final turn. Hey, it worked for Thrash and Crash at Martinsville. The point is there's no quit. Anything I can do on the last lap, you can take a little damage, but big shout out. What a statement win. Bold moves by the one machine of Lilith Peters. And how about Evan Clapper in the 57? Probably one of the best races I have ever seen him drive. As Lilith goes ahead and just maxed it.
She's going to use the wall to get her burnout done.
Setup. She's trying to bend something or break something before she gets teched.
Well, she's got the easy way in mind to do that burnout.
Yeah. No, that's in real life. That's not iRacing. Trying to probably adjust her field of view there. She's burning it down on the racetrack.
Trying to make it through tech.
Yeah, I mean, concrete, that's a good way to change something real quick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got into the wall there with my burnout. So Peters wins it. Evan Clapper grabbing 2nd, as you were saying, and Justin Horton's going to take 3rd. Great day for Kaiju Cat Motorsports. We'll go ahead and see if we can grab our 3rd place finisher, Justin Horton. as Peters and the 67 of Horton burn it down, celebrating a team victory here, first and third place. Where is Horton? There he be.
Flip,
Justin Horton.
Flip.
Sorry, Matt and Cliff in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Heck of a show here tonight. Pretty smooth sailing there in that last run. You had the 0-0 almost catching you, and it looked like he might have got you there coming down the backstretch in the final lap there, but he got into the wall. Were you worried at all? Were you running just with your rear view mirror, or what was going through your mind there in that last lap?
For me, it was a mix. I was checking my mirror, my relatives on my gauges to see where he was. There was a point when it came, once I got ahead of him. Sean, an amazing racer, always races me really cleanly, always fun to have good competition around him. I got to thank Sean for racing me so clean, same as me and him. It was real good. Yeah, I was in the rear view mirror. I was looking forward. I was just making sure I ran my line well and did everything I could to get myself the podium. I know Lilith and Evan had the race as a 1 and 2. It was just, could I get all three of the team in the podium? And I'm glad I was able to do that.
Yeah, well done for sure. Heck of a show from Kaiju Cat Motorsports. First and third. I apologize. I'm looking at the wrong chart here. Is Evan Clapper? Yeah,
Yep.
Evan. Oh
Evan
my
is.
goodness. 1, 2,
1, 2,
3
3
for the team. What an amazing finish. Great job. Congrats to you guys. That'll be the common theme throughout these top 3 interviews. Way to hold off that 0-0. And anyone you want to give a shout out other than Kaiju Cat before we send you back?
Oh, yeah. I got to thank Luna Steak Sauce, sold by Foxfire Foods. I got to thank them for being on this Chevy Camaro. For me and the one car, me and Lilith appreciate them. And Jeremy Flanagan so much for sponsoring the team. Shout out to Lilith, Evan, and Jeremy for being amazing teammates. Shout out to Lilith for mentoring me and helping me kind of figure things out. I wasn't an early run car, but I was getting it down the long run. I was figuring my line out. It all just came down to if I could do, I had to be more of I had to do instead of just think about doing. It was amazing race, a great race for the team to finish 1 and 2 and 3, entire podium. Congratulations on Lilith. I got to thank Paints by JJ. He does all my paint schemes. Once again, thank everyone that's on the car and supports us and the team. Thank you so much, Jeremy Flanagan, for having me on the team. I love being on this team. An amazing set of partners I have on this team. Thank you guys for broadcasting today.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for showing up, and you and the whole Kaiju Cat Motorsports crew giving us something to watch here. And what a heck of a run here for heading into the final 4 races of the playoffs. All 3 of you are in, and finishing this race first, second, and third is definitely going to help that. So, congrats again. Hopefully we get to talk to you again next week at Bristol. Gonna be a whole different story.
Yeah, thank you. And then also thank you to Blue Gray Plastic Fabrication for sponsoring the series. I hope we have given you guys a good show. It's been really fun to race in this year, and I'm real happy with the performances me and the team, me and Jeremy's team have been putting down, and I'm glad that we could be making our sponsors and Blue Gray proud this season.
Yeah, right on.
Thank you, Clifford.
Well, there you have it. Justin Horton coming across the line third for his team, Kaiju Cat Motorsports, sweeping the podium. Let's go ahead and grab our second place finisher, Evan Clapper. Hey, Evan, Cliff in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Big P2 here, man. Dominant, aside from the one machine. We'll just say Kaiju Cat Motorsports dominant here tonight. But you had a fast car. You proved it. Bringing it across the line in second. Take us through your race. How you feeling?
Well, I completely stuffed my qualifying lap, so I started in the back. But I got lucky because there's a few wrecks in the first couple laps, which I managed to avoid all of them and got some track position from it, and then from there on it was smooth sailing. I think I had fast enough car to beat the one, except on the last run because I smashed the wall and knocked my wheels out of alignment. But in the long run, I was faster or the same with the one, but I don't know, my pit entry, pit exit, all the combination of getting down pit road and getting off, I was just so slow. I lost like 2 to 3 seconds both times, and that basically killed it for me. I think I would have been able to at least stay with it for the majority of the race, but I think it's a great day anyway. I mean, I led a lap, so I got a bonus point there, and can't complain about a team 1-2-3 finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say this, coming into this race, second in points and having our points leader not able to race here today, that's going to look good for you. Peter's winning, coming from fifth. We're going to have to do some math there to figure that out, but it's a great day, no doubt, coming across the line second with your teammates finishing first and third as well. So congrats to Kaiju Cat. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before you go back and celebrate? It's going to be a big celebration, I would assume, with your team.
Yep, so shout out to the team, Lilith, Justin, and Jeremy, and then shout out to the admins for running the league, and you guys for doing the broadcast. Appreciate it.
Yeah, right on. Well, we appreciate you coming by every week to give us a show and something for people to watch. Congrats again, and hopefully we get to talk to you again next week at Bristol.
Thank you. Have a good one.
There you go, Evan Clapper coming across the line second. We'll jump now to our points, not our points leader, but our race winner, Lilith Peters. Hey, Lilith, Cliff in the booth. You got me?
Hi.
Another dominating run for you tonight. I think this is gonna give you the boost you needed coming into the final four races to kind of make up for your missed race before the fairgrounds. Of course, getting a win at the fairgrounds helped. Another win here at Auto Club. My question is, are you ready for Bristol?
I've done a couple league races at Bristol recently, so hopefully I am. But last time I went there, I did not do too good.
Well, definitely a different animal than here at Auto Club Speedway, which you dominated here tonight, so congrats there on the win. Any worries here tonight? Did you ever think that any of these cars were going to give it a run once we got spread out for you, or did you kind of set sail and go on from there?
Well, I expected to be running with people. I knew Evan was really quick, but I guess his long run wasn't as quick. If it were more cautions, I'm sure we would have had a much closer race, but I'm glad it went the way it did, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. Kaiju Cat Motorsports with a 1-2-3 finish. You can't really ask for much more than that. Actually, Sean Purcell as well, huh? 1, 2, 3. Oh, Kyle Purcell. Sorry. Got the Purcells mixed up there. But regardless, congrats to you and Kaiju Cat. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we head on out of here tonight?
Sure. Thanks to Blue Gray Plastic Fabrications for sponsoring the series. Thanks to my sponsor, Luna Steak Sauce. They just got their bottles in stock again, finally. You can get it at foxfirefoods.com. And thanks for broadcasting it. Hopefully this win is enough to Tony Stewart me to a championship.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good way to put it. Well, we're waiting up here in the booth for foxfirefoods.com to get some tacos going. You'll learn all about that.
Oh, yeah, that sounds awesome.
Right? But congrats again on the win. Hopefully we get to talk to you again at Bristol and you keep this momentum running.
Hopefully. See you next week. Bye, Cliff.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our race winner, Lilith Peters. Back-to-back wins for her as we run into the last leg of this season, unfortunately. It's almost over, folks. Don't miss any of the racing here with the All-American Racing League. Blue-Gray Plastic Fabrication Cup Series. 3 to go. We're going to go to Bristol, Milwaukee Mile, and Darlington to finish out the season. So be sure to check that all out. So we'll bring up our race results here. Sorry, that's the qualifying results. Race results. Lilith Peters wins it here tonight. Evan Clapper coming across second, and Justin Horton grabbing that final podium spot. Sean Purcell had something for the 67 there towards the end, gave it all he had, but he'll finish fourth. Cameron Harrison, the Silver Bullet 27, comes across the line fifth. David Hare will finish sixth in the 15 machine. David Lorfano, the third, gonna finish seventh. Kyle Purcell comes across the line in eighth. Patrick Lightning McQuaid finishes ninth. Larry Garnes comes across in the top 10 spot. Jeremy Flanagan will finish 11th. Travis Rodriguez 12th. Nathan Christensen 13th. And Adam Angerstein is going to finish 14th in that 9 machine. And that'll do it for us from Auto Club here for the Muffler Man 200. Huge shout out to Muffler Man for sponsoring tonight's race. And of course to Blue Gray Plastic Fabrications for sponsoring the series. That'll do it for us here at Sim Racing Media. For Matt Metler and myself, thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time.